Kesara, and today we're going to be doing my January reading vlog part 2. So I hadn't planned to vlog this week, but last week vlogging did not go well. So I want to kind of get back into the swing of things. So I'm going to vlog this week instead of doing a mid-month wrap-up. I also don't think I'm going to have enough books for a mid-month wrap-up, so it's going to be a vlog instead. And I'm kind of excited about it, to tell you the truth, because this should hopefully be my last super busy week. I've been really busy since October. Really busy. I'm talking working 60 to 80 hours a week, which I guess for some people is not that busy. For me, it's really busy because I have so many other things that I want to do, and I really don't get to reading or filming as much when I'm working that much. So this week is going to be really busy, especially tomorrow and Wednesday. Super busy, but I'm going to try and vlog through it, and hopefully I can get some reading done, because sometimes when I'm really busy, I can get a little bit more reading done, like when I relax myself, specifically with audiobooks, but we'll see. I think I forgot to mention, but it's Monday, January 11th, and usually I start with the books I'm currently reading. I want to start with another book. If you watched my last vlog, then you'll know I was reading The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This was a reread for me, and it's a reread audio because I want to get to The Burning God, which hopefully I can get to towards the end of this week. I actually finished this one earlier today, and I really enjoyed it. Mind you, I knew I was gonna love this book. I will say I felt differently about it this time around than I did the first time around. The first time around, when I read into this, it just completely blew me away, and I just absolutely loved every second of this book. I could not put it down. I read this the first time around, I want to say in less than 24 hours. It took me quite a bit longer to read this one, and I do know I was stretching it out a little bit because I want to savor it a little bit, but I didn't love it as much. I felt the first time around that it just didn't stop, and the plot felt a lot slower to me this time around, which is kind of weird. I didn't expect that, and I don't know why. I think the first time I read it, all of the emotional parts of it felt like plot, but this time around it felt more like character development, which I absolutely love character development, so it still really worked for me, but not in the way I was expecting to. Still a fantastic book. I still absolutely love it, and I'm still giving it 5 stars, but it wasn't the same experience that it was the first time around. And the first time I read this book, the experience of reading it was just so good. I absolutely loved that. So I kind of wish I could have had that experience again, but at the same time, it's still a fantastic book that I really enjoyed, and I will be picking up the sequel very soon, just not right away. Now I'm gonna switch to the books that I'm currently reading. My current audiobook is Snowblind by Ragnar Jonasson. So this is actually part of the Diversathon 2021, which is a year-long readathon. I'll put some links in the description about it, and hopefully before this video comes out, I'll have my TBR for that readathon come out. I'm planning to do a TBR for it, so we'll see. Like I said, been super busy, so I don't know how that will happen, but I will try. I decided to pick this book because the prompt for January is read a book that's set in Iceland. This book is set in Iceland, and it's one of the few thriller novels that I have on my TBR, because the majority, when you think of diverse books, almost all of them end up being contemporary, in the diverse voices section. So I wanted to try and pick stuff that were not specifically written because they were diverse. So one thing I was really trying when I was making my TBR and failing at, but I worked with this one, was to try and pick books that are not particularly trying to be diverse. They just happen to be diverse, if that makes sense. Because I feel if I read a book just for the diversity factor, I end up not liking it as much as if I'm truly interested in what that book is about. So this one seemed really interesting because it's a thriller novel, and I like a good thriller novel. So far, I'm really enjoying it. Audiobook for this is absolutely fantastic. Really love the audiobook. So I'm excited to see where it goes, because it's kind of a murder mystery. It's also kind of like a detective mystery, which I don't read enough of those. I'm kind of excited for that aspect of it too. And my last book that I'm currently reading is The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. I think it's a historical fantasy. Maybe I might be wrong about that, but it has a really interesting concept because it's set in this library, but the library leads to different worlds. So it's kind of like a portal fantasy, but sort of not. But it's also kind of like a magical library fantasy. There's a lot that I could potentially really love about this book. It doesn't have very high ratings on Goodreads, so that makes me a little skeptical of it. But the first chapter so far was really good. That's how far I'm in this book. I started it last night, so cut me some slack. But I'm excited for this because it sounds really intriguing. So it's Friday, January 15th, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't make any progress on any of the books that I mentioned previously. Mostly that's because I've been working like crazy. This is supposed to be my last super busy week, and probably the busiest week that I expect to have all year. So hopefully hopefully that means my time is finally freeing up. But because I was still super busy, I wanted to read something that was a little bit more in my comfort zone. And since I had just finished The Dragon Republic, I decided to pick up The Burning God. I haven't made a lot of progress. I've read like about 300 pages or so in the last 4 days, so a good bit of progress. I am right there now. So far, I'm really enjoying this. It's not like how when I read The Dragon Republic the first time where I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I still really like it so far. It is definitely more like The Dragon Republic than it is The Poppy War. It definitely has more of those vibes, but there's an aspect to The Dragon Republic that I just really love that is annoying me in The Burning God. I don't know how to explain that. There was this tension between characters in The Dragon Republic that in this one, I feel like the tension's kind of been cut and we kind of know where the characters stand. So now it's just, you know, time for action. So I like it, but it doesn't have that like emotional tension that I really love, but it's still fantastic. And I cannot wait to see where this book is going. I'm enjoying every single second of it. And honestly, this is the only thing that I'm feeling like reading right now. So I don't know if I'm going to make any progress on any of the other books, but I'm excited to be reading this one. So it's Saturday, January 16th, and I just feel so relaxed now after like a full day of like both mind and body relaxation. I feel so much better because I feel like previously I would get time to like relax like my physical body. I would get the weekends, but like my mind was not relaxed because I always had like stuff that I had to think about and work on. And I feel like I just got everything done this. So I'm like actually in a good place. That being said, I was working on doing my end of the year recap, specifically my most surprising fantasy books. And that was supposed to go up today and something happened and the file was corrupted. So it's not going to go up today. So I'm going to try and get this vlog up instead, even though this was supposed to go up tomorrow, but we'll see if I can get this up today instead. So it's gonna be a little bit shorter than I had planned to make it, but I did notice in the last clip, I kind of messed up. I did say in that clip that I hadn't made any progress on any of the books that I had previously mentioned. That was a lie. I did make progress on one of them, particularly Snowblind by Ragnar Jonasson. This book is so good. I'm really enjoying Snowblind. I'm about halfway through it now, and first of all, I absolutely love the audiobook. The audiobook narrator is really good. I enjoy listening to the audiobook narrator so much. I think the book is the type of book that works really well on audiobook. I think I mentioned in my most recent TBR, it's giving me sort of like Anxious People, Frederick Bachman sort of vibes because of the way that it's structured. It has a unique structure that I really like, where it's kind of like skipping through like different people that are around this time, and I'm not entirely sure that it's chronological, if that makes sense. I'm pretty sure it's not chronological, which I also really like. Usually that doesn't come across on audio very well, but for some reason it's really working for this one. So I'm really enjoying that aspect of it, and I'm really excited to see where it's going. The only reason that I haven't made more progress on Snowblind is because I've been reading this baby, and I have made quite a bit of progress in it in the last day. I am now there. So I'm almost done with it. And honestly, it kind of feels like I am done with it. It's kind of like at the end of Lord of the Rings, where you get to like halfway through Return of the King, and it's just kind of like, the book is done, right? There's not more to this book. And then there's still like half a book left in there. That's kind of how I feel right now. The big battle and everything has been completed, and I can't decide if I absolutely loved it or not. Like, in some aspects, I really enjoyed. I mean, overall, I really enjoyed this book. This is one of those books that, like, if I mention cons to it, that's just me being picky, because I enjoyed this book thoroughly, especially the macro level politics. The macro level politics worked really well for me. The micro level politics did not, because there's a lot of things that I could feel happening in the background. We just don't get the details of it. Like, there's a lot of thing with like the Southern Lords and things like that. Oh, I can't go super into it just because spoilers, but there's a lot of things that I feel like are just not fully explained in here that should be explained, which makes me a little sad, but I am really enjoying this. I also don't think it's as dark as some of the other ones. Well, I mean, it's not done yet, so it might get darker, but like the first book had Golan Nice, which is just completely horrific. And then there are just certain sections of the second book that are also completely horrific. I don't feel like I got that necessarily in this book, which I mean is fine. Like, I think this one is just like maybe a little bit more PG. Like I said, it's fine. I feel like with most series, I expect each book to kind of like build on the next. And while this one does seem to build in story, it doesn't build tension. So that kind of bothers me, because even though like a lot of things happen where like if you think about it intellectually, yeah, that is more significant than what happened in the previous book, but I don't care about it as much. But mind you, like the other two books completely blew me away the first time around, and this one is just really, really good. Like it's a solidly great fantasy book that I'm really, really enjoying, and I'm excited to see the ending of it. If I do finish it tonight, then I'll add a little clip here at the end, but if I don't, I did seriously love this book. Currently, it's trending at like a 4.5 for me, but we'll see what the ending does, because there is a slight possibility that'll bump up to a 5, but there's also the possibility, depending on what actually happens, that'll bump down to a 4, which I really hope doesn't happen. But right now, if nothing changes, it'll be a 4.5 for me. So that is all I have for you guys. If you've read any of these books, let me know down in the comments, because I'd love to discuss with you guys. I post videos on Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so consider subscribing. And if you'd like to be notified as soon as I upload, you can click that little bell icon. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. All social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.